Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Energy First Golf. Man, I have been very busy. I'm trying to get the academy, get the business going, so I really haven't had much time to do videos. And I was also out of town for about a week for a golf teachers conference. Today I want to do this video because I feel like it's pretty important because we have a viewer, a supporter that asked a question, said, "Hey, what about Ben Hogan's golf swing? Should I learn Ben Hogan's golf swing?" Now, I always say that, remember, there's not a such thing as a perfect golf swing, but perfect golf energy. But before we even get into Ben Hogan's swing, let's find out what he does from an energy first perspective. Okay? Now, I truly believe, I know, before you can get to that, I feel like there's always this argument, the GOAT argument, greatest player of all time. Who's the best? I feel like it's very hard to determine who is the best player, say Tiger Woods or Jack, because it's really a different era. And also the equipment is so different right now. The technology on the equipment, like the club head, the shaft, really especially the shaft. So I feel like someone like Jack and Ben Hogan, they're very strong guys from a, golf perspective. And if they were playing in this era, in the modern day era, if they were able to use like KBS C taper extra stiff, S300, X100, because they're strong players and they should be able to swing those heavier and stiffer shafts. And I believe we're going to have a very different conversation regarding who's the best player. Because really, Ben Hogan, I mean, we're going to break it down. His swing, the way how he swings, trust me, if the shaft is very flexible, a strong player is always going to fight the hooks, the left misses. That's without a question because there's just too much kick on the shaft. So Ben Hogan, he's not born in this time, this modern day era of golf. His shaft, I don't know, but I feel like I'm most definitely pretty certain that his shaft is pretty flexible. So if being that strong can create that much torque and clubhead speed, he's gonna fight, and which is actually documented. It's a fact that he fights the left shots. He fights the hooks. So in other words, throughout his golfing career, or you can say that throughout his golf swing development, he's fighting the hooks, being that strong, being that the shaft he uses is not as stiff. So let's talk about his golf swing, the characteristics of his golf swing, right? So a couple things. We already know that he tends to grip the club with a neutral, not a neutral, with a weak grip. The weak grip is going to minimize the release rotation of the club head. That's one. Two, he also promotes a very much of a stationary, I call the stationary elbow, because in his book he talked about his elbows like this, and a lot of you would tend to do that, but with a lot of stress and tension on the shoulders. Don't do that. But he did it is because he tried to minimize the rotation of the arms. So in other words, you can see he was set up with a lot of elbows in like this. Okay? Mind you, everything he does or he did is try to prevent the left shot. Okay? So, with the weak grip, elbows in, with good, now remember, again, we don't talk about shoulder rotation. He turns his hips and his core. Understanding with the weaker grip, elbows in, he will create a what I call the minimalist shallow playing, which is acceptable. So in other words, with this position and setup, when he turns his body, his left arm here is just about right. Now you will see a lot of modern day players, some players may go higher, but the way how he's set up and the way how he gripped the club, his arm, his playing is just right at the minimalist position. Means if he gets anything lower, then we're in trouble. Okay? And really, a player that you can look at is, his name's Ricky Fowler, which gets him into trouble. So basically what you see here is Ricky at the 2010 into his new improved 2020. Now obviously one is driver, one is the iron. But with Ricky, because he's got a much faster tempo, he takes the club back very quickly. So sometimes he gets really below, which is the what I call the minimum acceptable position that it's good. But because Ricky gets very quick, sometimes he gets below. That's really when Ricky, he will get into a lot of trouble or inconsistency in the ball striking. But as you can see here with Ricky, with the driver, and that's that minimum position which is acceptable, which is good. And now you see Ben Hogan. Now remember, Ben Hogan's backswing to tempo is not as quick as Ricky's. But remember, Ben Hogan did it because he want to make sure on the way down, he's downswing, he can keep the club slightly inside. So if nowadays, if you put a TrackMan or fly scope behind Ben Hogan, his finishing path would be more left. But with Ben Hogan, the way how he sets up, the way how he turns his core and the hips and the body based on the setup, his playing is just about right on the shallow position. Not very steep, but it's very close to not good. Now, why he does that is because with a shallow top of the swing playing on the way down, he tried to create a what? A little bit more of a club inside path, but with minimal arm rotation and weak grip, he will hit a what? A cut fade or a block fade. So that's his swing. Again, we can talk about all the things. Body rotation, he's got it. Weight transfer, he's got it. Core rotation, he's got it. It's just based on the way he grips the club, where his plane is, the way how he comes down, the way how he releases. Again, cut fade, block fade, to minimize a lot of arm rotation because the setup, so that way his go-to shot, or should you say he will minimize the left misses. Okay? Now, if you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, you got to check out our video, our series regarding the 6 useful shots in a golf swing. But that's how he plays golf. So, if you ask me, should I recommend you swing like that? The answer is probably no. But what we need to do is really understand how you swing. How does your body transfer energy? Like I said, Ben Hogan, he's got everything that we have talked about. Hip rotation, core rotation, correct upper torso position, arm position. Again, arm positions based on the way how he set up and swing. He's got very strong hip movement and body rotation, torque, and shaft lean without a lot of arm rotation because he locks it. That's why he won't pull left. He tried to minimize the left shot. So he will either hit a cut fade or a block fade. That's all. That's all we have to offer right now regarding Ben Hogan's golf swing. So, should you learn from Ben Hogan's golf swing? Really, it's not about his swing. It's just about you understanding what you have to do. If you're a hooker, if you tend to hit too much slice, we can talk about it. That's why we do actually do online swing analysis. If you guys wanted me to do that, email us, Energy First Golf, the link's below, and we can talk about how you can improve your swing. But it's not like I always say, it's not about swinging like a particular player. It's about how you swing. Where's your energy? How does your body create energy? How do you release? And what type of release that you prefer, and what type of release that your body, based on the way how you were built, you are capable of doing so. Like I mentioned to you before in our videos, I cannot do all the releases out there. I have limitations, me personally, on certain releases. It's not that I don't know how to do it. I just don't do it when I go play because I prefer certain release, certain ball fly, and also I know I have certain weakness on certain other type of release and ball fly. So it's very important to understand the golf swing. That's the reason why we do not teach impact. If you learn impact, contact, you are really minimizing your knowledge and the understanding of the golf swing. The golf swing really is based on knowledge, understand what's going on, and your feeling and your reality. All those three areas must match. All right? So today we'll end this video here. If you have any questions, please leave a comment or email us. And also click here to give us support this channel, and also understand we have 2 recommended videos if you want to know more about energy first, impact later. And I will see you next time.